As several of our favorite local bars have closed, a new crop has arrived with talented mixologists, New York transplants, and really good drinks. So, how are we balancing the old and the new? Today on CityCast Austin, our guide to Austin's best new bars. It's Thursday, May 8th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hello, I am here with Ruvani De Silva, beer, food, and drink writer. I got to be honest, when I heard about the best U.S. bars list, I immediately thought about our conversation. So I'm really excited to talk to you. Nickel City has been getting all kinds of accolades lately and made the best U.S. bars list at number 70. So I need to know, do you like Nickel City? Do you think it lives up to the hype? Let's get into it.
Honestly, I do not. I was actually very surprised that of all our many Austin bars, that was the one that made it through. While obviously as an Austinite, I'm really glad to see us represented on a national stage, I was quite surprised. While I really appreciate that it's somewhere that people love and people here are very passionate about, I'm not sure for me that it really fully captures either neighborhood bar or cocktail bar. I feel it sits a bit too much in the middle, although it is a great place and it's somewhere where you can always go and you'll always know someone there.
Exactly.
And that's its strong point. I would say on the drinks front, I feel it's not our best show off, I would say.
I love this. So you know what? I would not have thought of it that way if you hadn't said it, that it falls right in the middle. Now I can't get that out of my brain. It's so funny. Because I love Nickel City. I do. But you're right. As far as the U.S. bars list, are there any two or three or couple that comes to your mind, like just at the top of your head that you're like, this should have been on there or this should have been in there? Maybe not necessarily instead of Nickel City, but like when I thought about it, I was like, Small Victory?
Yes.
That's like
that was the first thing I was going to say. It should have been Small Victory. Yep. 100%. Yep. That was the first place that came into my mind. Definitely.
I mean, hands down.
Why not? Yeah.
That's the first thing that came to my mind. This is going to sound very dramatic. I have dreams about those daiquiris. They're so good.
It is, everything on that menu is so perfectly curated, and it combines having an Austin atmosphere with a big city level of quality. I think it's got absolutely everything right. The staff are magnificent. It's always such a fun atmosphere as well. It's never too high end, but it's never it keeps it inclusive. So I think that everything about Small Victory, that would have been the one place that I would have picked. And I bet you and I crossed paths at Dozen Street a few times because I was there all the time.
Listen, we absolutely did. I love that you thought Small Victories too.
Yeah.
That place is, and I do not say this lightly, that place is pretty damn close to perfect for me.
Yep.
Clean bathrooms, like comfortable places to sit, incredible staff, incredible drinks. Like I've never had a bad drink there. And that's a hard thing to say for someone who's as picky as I am about my drinks.
But it keeps it Austin. There's no dress code. There's no nonsense. There's no sort of hoo-ha about it. So I think it's got that right balance between absolutely spot on mixology and just a brilliant atmosphere. And that is the one that should have been there, if you ask me.
Yeah, seriously. If you guys haven't been to Small Victory, just make sure you go do it. But I do have to say, like, back to Nickel City, it's one of those places that has been here forever, since 1934, and it's changed a lot. It was Long Branch, and then everyone was worried that it was going to be, succumb to gentrification or become something kind of gross and not inviting or shitty. But I feel like it's kind of held on to its character, which I like. And that seems rare to me. It seems rare that something will be taken over and I want to go to it. You know what I mean? Like, so let's talk about that. Is their
Yeah.
story normal here in Austin that a local amazing bar changes owners and still manages to stay cool, or no?
I think that's a really, really good point. And something that I wanted to talk about today is the impact that gentrification is having on our bar scene. I think it's very interesting that we're having this discussion this week because we've recently lost and in the process of losing 3 really, really, for me, cornerstone bars in Austin with Full Circle, Outer Heaven and Skylark going at the end of the week, which has, I mean, it's been very, very emotional for me as an Outer Heaven regular for many, many years. It's a very, very difficult position for us to be in as a city to try and keep our integrity and the things that brought people here, the things that have made us such a dynamic city, while also coping with the fact that clearly with the city of Austin, money talks. And the people who really love the bar scene here are all kind of struggling with how to navigate that. So whether or not a place can change ownership and keep its identity is really tricky. And I think the role of hospitality groups and how the Austin scene is now pretty much flooded with them as opposed to independent bar owners is definitely something that has been on my mind while all this is happening. And then obviously we have all the New York inputs that we've got now, Dead Rabbit, Mother's Ruin, Flower Shop.
Yeah.
We've got a whole new swathe of second locations here. So there's a lot going on and a lot to think about.
You know, talking about the things that we're losing, I mean, I heard the news about Skylark yesterday and I had to take a whole moment. Like I had to like get up from my computer, throw my phone down and like go scream in a pillow because Skylark is so special. It's such a special place. It's been there. You know, I say this often on the podcast where I'm like, yeah, I used to pick my dad up from that place. I used to pick my dad up from that place. That's how long it's been here. And it's just like another place, another part of my childhood and my fabric of this city gone. I didn't get to go to Outer Heaven as much as I wanted to because I was still mourning Dozen Street that was there before Outer Heaven. So it's, you know, it's just like it feels like this continuous mourning. It's like you get used to something and then it's like, oh no, that's gone too. It's too much. I can't handle it. So along these lines, let's talk about a little bit more about like how you've seen the Austin bar scene change in just like these recent years, because it feels like I can't keep up. Every time I look up, there's something new. Like, how are you seeing it change? Are we holding on to old Austin, or are we slowly kind of moving away from it?
I think it depends who you ask. I think it depends how hard you look and where you look. I would say that there is a definite move away from old Austin that has made me really, really sad. I mean, I used to go to Giddy Ups a lot. And when that closed, I mean, that was like about as old Austin as you can get. I do think that there is this sort of disjuncture between where do we go as a city? Are we really heading into this sort of New York proper high-end cocktail bar territory? But then I've also seen there are a lot of bars at least positing themselves as neighborhood bars, as more sort of relaxed, divey places opening that are trying to pick up the crowd of people who are missing those spots. But at the same time, we still have places like Fraser's, Casino, El Camino and Casino Southside. We've still got, you know, Manchaca Springs Saloon. There are still bars that are doing the old Austin thing if you look for them. That certainly every time I go there, they're always busy, which is what you want. But then, I mean, you could never have said that Full Circle or Outer Heaven were not busy.
I know.
That doesn't seem to be the criteria anymore, unfortunately.
It doesn't. It really is. I think about places like Shangri-La and White Horse and the Violet Crown and Bender Bar, like all of these like that are, to me, feel like true Austin dives. And I'm like, yeah, they're always busy. They're always busy. But like, that doesn't mean anything anymore. And that's the part that is really confusing for me. It's the part that's really hard for me. I'm curious because I also have been seeing this new trend of bars that decorate as if they're a dive, but then you get in and the drink is $22.
Yes.
I'm like, this is not dive bar prices. What are we doing?
I think that there's a definite issue with that as well. I also realized I forgot to mention Bobo's Snack Bar, which was a proper community, real labor of love beautiful, inclusive
Yes.
hangout, which we've also just lost. And when you sort of see places like that being nudged out with places charging $20 for a cocktail, you do wonder what the agenda is and kind of what's going on, especially when, and I hate to say it, it's a cocktail out of a machine, because that really annoys me. If I'm going to pay $20 for a cocktail, especially in Austin, someone's making it properly.
Listen, I want to see some muddling. I want to see some shaking. I want I want to see all of the things.
I want foam, I want fat washing, I want the whole lot. You know?
Yes.
And there are some of the new places, they are doing that. And then some of the new divey places aren't as expensive. But I definitely think that people coming in to town, particularly with out of town, out of state money, and are setting up places in the style of dive bars is what we're seeing a lot. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard not to love them. I mean, you see the car hanging upside down in Busties, and it's like, how can you not love that? And the leopard print pool table at Flower Shop, and it's like, how can you not love that? But then you think what was there before, and it's like,
It's hard.
it's very hard. Yeah.
I love Busties.
Me too.
I love Busties. I wanted to hate it. The first time I went, I wanted to hate it. I was like, oh my God, this place insists on itself too much. I'm going to hate it. And I got in there and I love it. And I've been back so many times. It's ridiculous. I've been back so many times. So along, keeping with this trend, like it's really expensive to live in Austin. And, I used to bartend way, way back in the day. And I'm sure it's changed, but like bartenders don't always make a lot of money. In my opinion, and this is just everybody listening, this is my opinion. There's a difference between a bartender and a mixologist. And I am open to being corrected about this, right? I think I am a bartender. I can bartend. If you ask me the classics right now, I could probably whip it up pretty quickly and it'd be delicious. But when you start getting into foam and mixology, I don't know anything about that. That is not something, in my opinion, you can fake. That's something that you have to have like kind of done the work and the footwork to learn how to do it well. I can't imagine that learning that skill is cheap. And so you're living in this expensive city. What is it about Austin that mixologists like? Is there anything unique to Austin that helps people, of all people, behind the bars survive? Like, what is the thing that's keeping them here? Because we got some talented bar staff in the city.
We do. I can only speak based on the mixologists whom I've spoken to, which is obviously nothing like the whole gamut of the city. But I think the things that have stood out for me from the conversations that I've had and people whom I've interviewed are the fact that I think bars in Austin, there's still a lot of scope for adventure. There's a lot of scope for diversity. I think bartenders here get a lot more of a free rein than they do somewhere like New York. I think they're allowed to put their own stamp on a menu, and they're given a bit more space to really create and be creative. I think that a lot of mixologists and bartenders I'm aware of have left Austin. Many have gone to New York and come back because of that, and because of the new bars opening, because of the way that our bar scene is evolving towards, in some cases, those very, very high-end, really, really high-quality mixology-focused bars. And I know that has both retained talent and brought talent both in and back. But also, I think the fact that Austin it's cool. It's a cool city. And the scene is newer, it's younger. And we have both locals and tourists getting really, really into the full-on mixology scene, who want an explanation, who want to read about and discuss and have conversations about ingredients that I do not know how to pronounce, frankly. But if I go to a bar, I want to be able to talk to someone who can tell me what they are and why they're being used and what the desired effect is, how they came up with the recipe. We're curious drinkers. We're engaged, and I think we're becoming more so. When we talked about craft beer last time, I was saying the same thing about craft beer drinkers here. People, they want to know what they're drinking. They want to know how it came about. And I think that is definitely true with a lot of the new cocktail bars that are opening with, as you said, experienced high-end and hugely professional mixologists in the city.
That's just such a great answer. That's a great answer. I love this idea of like bartenders and mixologists having this kind of autonomy here and this ability to be creative. I love that. I was at Cabana Club a couple of days ago and they were just like figuring out a new drink that had like coffee and some like pineapple, or it sounded like a mad scientist experiment. And they were just like trying to figure it out and watching three people work together. And I just remember being like, wow, just like ear hustling. And he's dropping and watching that creative process was really wonderful. I don't think I've ever thought about it like that. I'm curious, do you have a favorite homegrown mixologist in the city?
I definitely would not want to put my finger on one person, because I think that what is being created collaboratively in our scene is what is most exciting about it. And that's why everyone isn't like lined up outside of like Double Chicken Please in New York. We have everyone spread out amongst a huge range of really, really brilliant, really exciting bars, like Here Nor There and In Plain Sight and Small Victory and Midnight Cowboy. And we've got so much going on, and the new bars as well, which I know we're going to be talking about.
Hey y'all, it's your last chance to see What the Constitution Means to Me at the ZACC Theater. And if you're on the fence about seeing it because maybe it sounds kind of dry or you're not a history person, let me try to change your mind. This Tony Award-winning play is less than 10 years old, and it's autobiographical. The playwright Heidi Schreck dives deep into what the Constitution has meant to her and to 4 generations of women in her family. It's a comedy, and it's also been called soul restoring. I don't know about y'all, but I could do with a little soul restoring right about now. You can see What the Constitution Means to Me on stage at the ZACC Theater now through May 11. Get your tickets at zactheater.org. That's ZACH theater.org. What do former President Lyndon B. Johnson and the movie Jaws, yes, that Jaws, have in common? A new exhibit at the LBJ Presidential Library. Before he wrote Jaws, Peter Benchley was President Johnson's speechwriter, and this temporary exhibit is all about Benchley's journey from the White House to best-selling novelist to ocean conservationist. Talk about a fascinating career. Don't miss this chance to learn all about Benchley and Johnson's environmental legacy, how Jaws changed our understanding of sharks, and much more. From the White House to the deep ocean, LBJ, Jaws, and Conservation will be at the LBJ Presidential Library from now through October 19th. Find out more about the exhibit at lbjlibrary.info/Jaws. Hey y'all, it's Nikki. If your mom is like my mom, the one thing she really wants from you this Mother's Day is to see you. This year, you can help her do that all the time by giving her an Aura digital picture frame, which Wirecutter says is the best digital photo frame. My mom, Daisy, loves to be surrounded by pictures of her kids, her grandkids, and the memories we've made together over the years. But y'all, she has no more room on her walls. So this year, I'm giving her an Aura frame, which can hold a crazy amount of photos, and it'll keep her in the loop. We just had a family vacation in Denver, and so instead of wrangling a photo album out of our phones, my sister and I can just upload them directly to the frame. Plus, my sister is always digitizing old photos, and we can send her those too, so none of them will get lost. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's Aura, A-U-R-A, frames.com. Promo code is CityCast. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about these new bars. So right now, I have been obsessed with Teddy's, and specifically, they have this drink called Medicine Man that has just taken over my entire waking moment.
So there are 2 Teddy's: Teddy's Southwestern or Teddy's Manor Road.
Teddy's Manor Road. Teddy's Manor Road. Thank you. That's true, because I found that out the hard way.
Yeah.
Teddy's on Manor Road used to be Thunderbird Coffee.
Yes.
It's now this cute little cocktail bar. Again, something that I wanted to hate. I'm not gonna lie. I'm being honest. I wanted to hate it because now you're like in my neighborhood that I grew up. And so I'm like, what is this now? And so I go in and it's the same kind of thing. Staff is dope. I like drinks are good. I asked them once if they knew how to make one of my favorite drinks is with Fernet. It's called a Midnight Stinger.
Oh, I'm going to have to look that up. That sounds good. I love Finette.
Oh my God, it's so good. And he looked it up and he was like, let me try that. That looks cool. That looks cool as hell. He said, let me try it. He whipped it up. It was delicious. But I'm curious because, I'm definitely on this love-hate relationship with new bars in Austin. And so I want to know, what are the best new bars that we're seeing? Who's on your list? What's on your list?
It's interesting that you brought up Teddy's, because what I've found interesting about Teddy's is how Teddy's and Long Goodbye, they're making Manor into this real drinks destination place, which, it hasn't been before. It's like, it's really becoming a sort of, a cocktail forward neighborhood,
yes.
which I'm enjoying watching and being a part of that. But the other area that obviously I think is really, really key to this is the revitalization of downtown, is how we're seeing so many like high-end new bars popping up downtown. I mean, it's been very, very cool to try out Prelude. And they have a super sophisticated high-end menu and making drinks where the flavors are based on food pairings, which is really, really fun and really clever.
That sounds amazing.
It's a beautiful, beautiful building as well. It's one of the old houses that's been refurbished. They've got art from the West Chelsea Contemporary. You get what you pay for, but you do actually get what you pay for, if you see what I mean. And their food menu is also super, super carefully curated to pair with the drinks. It's very, very classy, but it's very fun. It's also one of many of the new bars which has got a lot of Austin alumni, people from here or there in plain sight. And I really enjoyed that. My particular favorite at the moment of the newest places, I have to say, is Paper Cut, which is right on Fifth. It's right next to Brew and Brew. It is so fun. And again, it's an art-based concept. So they have an artist that if they design a cocktail menu around the artist's work, they rotate the artist about every 3 months. It's completely black inside, so that the artwork, it's more like drinking really, really fancy cocktails in a gallery space than anything else. But I absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant.
Okay. I haven't even heard of this. Ruvani, oh my God. This is amazing. It's right down the street from me. Are you kidding? This is awesome.
It's really, really exciting. And the quality of the cocktails is just mind-blowing. Half the ingredients, I mean, I had no idea what they were. Yoka, Koji, Awamori. I mean, I was like, I don't know what that is, but they're really happy to have a conversation with you, explain to you what all the ingredients are, how they put the flavor profiles together, and how they pair that with the concept of the artwork, the artist's particular favorite flavors. They were telling us how the artist who was there when we last visited particularly enjoys sour sweets. So they done a few cocktails based around his favorite sour sweets. It's just such a fun experience. And again, pricey, but I would say, yep, it's worth it.
That sounds like something that's up my alley too. Like I'm into it. Your girl will pay for an experience every time.
Yep.
I'm curious, do you have what would you say is a good new bar for a date? Like, is Paper Cut a date kind of thing, or should we do Prelude?
Yeah, if you go early, I mean, if you're like a cocktail nerd and you want to have a conversation about your drinks, I would definitely recommend going early anyway. And yeah, I think it would make a great date environment. There's no loud music, there's no chaos. I think Prelude would work for a date as well. It would also work for if you were doing after work, sort of if you're trying to impress a client. That's definitely somewhere that I would think of for that as well. So and if you wanted a more sort of relaxed, casual, fun sort of date environment, the Flower Shop is great because it is a bit loud, but it's also got 3 stories, tons and tons of space, and it's got that sort of very menu, very sort of 70s retro chilled vibe. So, and also if you're on East 6th and you want to kind of bar hop, that's another place that I would say would make a fun date venue. It's got little different little nooks and places to sit around the setting.
Cute. Okay, so on the other side of the spectrum, what would you say, or would you say, if you have one, is the most overrated bar in Austin? And if not overrated, maybe if we don't want to use the term overrated, just like a bar that you're like, I don't get the hype.
Of the new bars, and I'm talking really only about places that have opened within the last year or so. The place so far that I've been most disappointed with is Mother's Ruin, because again, coming from New York, there's been so much hype about it. And I went there and I felt it's kind of like a hotel bar. I felt it was a bit characterless, and I wasn't particularly excited by the cocktail menu. And I know their whole shtick is we serve food till 1:30. Like maybe it's different at 1:30. I didn't go at 1:30 in the morning, but I just kind of left feeling a bit nonplussed, especially considering, say, the other New York implants, Flower Shop and Dead Rabbit, both made really, really good impressions on me.
Okay, see, I'm glad that you're saying this because Mother's Ruin and both Dead Rabbit. Now, I'd never heard of Flower Shop until today. So that's another one that you're putting me on to. But I had heard about Mother's Ruin and Dead Rabbit, and I've been trying to figure out which one to go to. And so now Dead Rabbit is just one out. I'm just going to, I just like the name, and I did not realize it was from New York. So you're also educating me about that. I am a fan of a New York cocktail bar. I won't lie. That's going to definitely reel me in. So Dead Rabbit it is. That you just made that decision for me.
It's really interesting because the owner, Jack McGarry, he's Irish, and he wanted to create an Irish concept bar to kind of overturn American stereotypes about, leprechauns and shamrocks, and really bring a sort of serious but up-to-date element of Irish culture to New York. And in Austin, he's really taken it to the nth degree. Everything in there is from Ireland, all the furniture, all the artwork. He has sought out really exciting new Irish whiskey brands for the cocktails. He does use some Texas brands too to sort of keep it local and relevant, but everything in there is worth sort of looking at and thinking about. It's a very, very interesting space. And they have 4 different types of Irish coffee. They are all great. And the frozen one is so good for Texas. I really, it's perfect. So definitely.
Irish coffee is that's my weakness. Frozen Irish coffee is my weakness. So, okay. Since I feel like every time we talk, you're just educating me. You put me on so many things. Is there anything else that we should know about, what's like anything that's happening or going to happen over the next few months in Austin? Are there any bars coming our way that we haven't talked about?
I'm sure that there are, because they seem to be coming up faster than I can keep track of. I just saw this morning, before we talked, that there's a new bar that's replaced Skinny's Off Track called Nunya that I hadn't heard of, that opened about 2 weeks ago, which is again positing itself as a sort of sports bar and neighborhood bar, which for me was kind of depressing because I feel like if East 12th is going down, new bars shouldn't be opening there. But I haven't been there, so I literally saw it in my feed this morning. So I do feel like that things are happening all the time. One thing I really did want to mention, because I think it's a really, really important new addition, and it is a sports bar, but it's a sports bar in a very, very exciting way, is the 1972 pub on Guadalupe, which is a women's sports bar. And it's the first one in Texas, first one in Austin. It's part of what's becoming a really exciting nationwide trend for women's sports bars. The opening party was immense. It was so packed. There was so much love. So many people so excited to see women's sports. It's a fun cocktail menu. All the cocktails are named after women athletes, and just a really, really great vibe. And I think it's something that everyone should know about and be out and be supporting. Definitely.
Oh. We love 1972. We love 1972. I went to their opening and it was so crazy that I was like, there are too many people here. It is awesome. This is great. I'm going to say hello and then I am going to go home and come back when there are less people. It was great. It's such a vibe. It is and it feels safe and it feels welcoming. Yes. I love 1972. I love it. I love it.
Definitely.
So, okay, is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to let us know about?
The only other thing I would say is that a lot of the newer restaurants these days are really putting effort into their cocktail menus. And I'm really, really noticing that they don't feel tacked on in the same way that they used to be. And I think that is quite an important thing, both for our drinking and our dining scene, that they realize now that they have to compete with actual cocktail bars in order to keep people coming in for drinks and to be ordering drinks as well that aren't just wine. So I think that's definitely something else that I've been noticing. Teddy's Southwestern, I think, is a good example of that. Nomad is a good example of that. I haven't been to Golden Ace yet, but I hear very, very good things about it. So I think that there's a lot to look out for. There's a lot more to explore. There's a lot of places to say that I still haven't been.
Okay, hold on. Golden Aces. Yeah, I'm like, I gotta write this down. You mentioned Nomad. So is there a restaurant called Nomad?
Nomad that's actually a restaurant, and it has really, really nice cocktails as well.
Oh, Ruvani, you, as usual, I have an entire list right now. Now that I have to go and check out, it's all your fault. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We're keeping you busy.
Thank you so much for coming on and talking to me about this. I mean, it's always such a pleasure to have you here. So I really appreciate you taking the time and keeping us up to speed. It's just lovely talking to you. It really is.
Likewise.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. You can find links to Ruvani's social media in our show notes. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.